Go for it.
All right. It's
Now.
recording right now, so we're just going to edit down. Okay, we're going to go.
Or not.
All right.
Yeah, this would be the best part.
I know.
Right.
Probably.
That's talking
I will
radio.
bet.
You gotta love the bloopers.
We're going to actually start the podcast in 3, 2, 1. Woo! That was James.
Or Papa J. So
All right.
You decide.
Welcome to the podcast. My name is Matt. Go
I'm
around
James.
the room here. What?
I'm James.
I'm Jeff.
Miriam.
See Moose.
That was your name in second grade.
Second
As soon as
grade.
anybody found out how your name was spelled,
It was not second grade. It was like 7.
no, it was second grade.
Anyway, and then we have
Yeah, we
Jeff
also-
on here trying to get the
Jeffrey's
film
doing some
version
video.
of this.
And
so-
standing about 20 feet away are Sherry and Josh. They're kind of. They're not sure they want to get too much closer to the podcast.
We might kind of annoy Mama Sherry tonight, so
Yeah.
it's okay. She might hit us.
Okay, guys.
Here.
We only have 10 minutes. Well, we could go as long as we want to, but
Right.
I promised Marion that we'd be out of here in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's.
Oh, hey, it's Mary's birthday, by the way, too. She's 16.
Be sure to call her the rest of the night and just be super loud.
Yes.
Somebody needs to call her at 3 o'clock.
No,
they
really.
forgot.
Don't
After-
trouble yourself.
Yes, please do
Okay,
it.
anyways,
Please.
podcast.
I will laugh so
Alright.
hard.
You know, I love how Jeff just gets us right back on task.
Absolutely.
Podcast.
Thank you, Jeff.
Podcast. So tonight, guys, we talked about creation. We talked about Genesis chapter 1, all the way through chapter 1. And James brought in a welded metal prayer box.
Pretty sweet.
You
Gotta,
say so.
gotta
No,
say,
no,
on my welding skills, I can't weld, so.
Hey, it was better than
Did you get to
Yeah.
wear the mask thing when you made that? Like the
You can't weld with your eyes.
Yeah, so you can't weld
Yeah.
with just. You have to have the mask on, man.
Such a rookie, James. I mean, come on, really.
Okay, that did come out a little more
Those
than I
are-
thought
you
it would.
can't weld with your eyes.
That was bad word on my part. But anyway,
You have to weld blind
Make
now.
one with his eyes.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the easy way to explain it. When you're welding, it emits the same ray that the sun does. That's why my arm usually comes in like, like a cherry.
It is.
See,
red,
so
what
by
are you
the
saying?
way.
It'll give you a sunburn just more easily than the sun can.
So did you get to wear that mask
Yes,
during
I
the eclipse?
did. No,
I can see James out on the street just wearing.
trust me, I tried.
I know so many kids at North Callaway that did that because they couldn't get the glasses, so they all just got their welding helmets.
See, that's the problem. My helmet, it would not darken for the sun. Trust me, I went out there, a whole bunch of us from work went outside. It was standing out there in the middle of the park with a whole bunch of idiots. And we're blind ourselves, we're trying to get our helmets looked, so we're all doing this kind of motion,
Wait a
trying to get
second.
the right angle.
And you are the same guys that wear eye protection because of the flaming bright light from your
welder.
welder machine
There's a
thing.
lot
I
of
don't even know what you
things.
do.
Welding.
I
torch.
weld, I use an oxyacetylene torch, I use a plasma cutter, I use a chop saw grinder.
This is great podcast material right here.
You want to
Welding
learn how to weld?
101.
So we just, I don't know when you're listening to this podcast, it may be like in 2025.
Right now it's 9:29.
We just saw the eclipse last week, and
Or tried to, at least for some of us.
wasn't it really eerie? I mean, when I was a kid, I guess I just saw a half partial eclipse because I don't remember it going completely dark. That was amazing.
See,
It
that
went
was
completely
really
dark.
trippy.
It only went to like 5 o'clock looking at my house.
It went
Loved
like 8 p.m. dark for us.
Say,
Dang.
I was just down the road at my old boss's shop, and we were looking outside. We went outside, and at first we just barely see a little bit like bite out of it, and we went back inside. We go back out, we could see a little better, and we were inside. We went and checked on it. Then we didn't check on it for like 20 minutes. And when we looked out the window, it was just pitch black, and all of us ran outside, looked up, and it was we just barely made it in time to see the purple ring.
That was cool.
That was the most amazing thing about it.
It's like Lord of the
Purple
Rings.
ring.
Stupid crap.
And it was just pitch black. See, I don't know where y'all are, but where I was just down the road, it was like pitch black outside.
Dang.
So
Yeah.
that ties in really good with our topic tonight. What am I kicking down here?
Like, who are you kidding?
Just somebody down there.
You're kicking my.
We talked about the creation story, and we went through all 6 days of creation, and kind of give a high-level overview, and you guys came up with some tough questions. You got a little bit deeper in the afters group. But I challenged everybody tonight to do some creation therapy. You guys remember what I meant by that?
Spending an hour outside, no devices of any kind whatsoever.
Well, the hour is arbitrary. That's just what I came up with. But,
Oh, well.
So you say an hour, but I find it. So I
find
do
the
it all
hour
the time.
I don't know. I'd be up late if I did an hour because I wouldn't have time. It's just so crazy.
How many hours do you think that you spend either in front of a screen or with sound pumping through your ears every day?
Are we talking for class
I would
or
say
just in
that's-
general? Because those are two different
general.
things.
Total.
Oh gosh, I couldn't even
I
begin
spend
to
a
guess.
lot. Say I don't spend a whole lot of screen time, but I always got my earbuds in. Say if
really
I'm
have a lot
working
of screen stuff
and I'm gonna be sitting there welding for a while, I'm gonna plug my earbuds in and I'm gonna zone the whole world.
Yeah,
Well,
I
for
plug
you,
my
they feel like
earbuds
it
in
could
a
just
lot.
Created our
Hours.
computers.
No, I'm totally guilty.
I do it too.
I program computers for a living, so I'm literally looking at a screen. And I think that's why this topic was so important to me tonight, why I really wanted to bring out that point. But I mean, you think about it, whether we're staring at our phone, walking down the street, or riding the bus. I mean, it seems like we fill every free time of our life with some kind of an electronic distraction, whether it's watching Netflix or listening to music. I mean, some people are listening to music 24 hours a day. I mean, they don't even turn it off when they go to bed because it's just an addiction. And honestly, this is turning into an addiction for a lot of people. My point tonight was, after discussing the amazing creativity of God, how he just laid it all out there and how he unfolded this creation and the amazing things that we see today. After knowing that, we spend less and less time every day actually in creation. We're almost wrapping ourselves inside this virtual or augmented type of life where we're getting out of touch with God's creation. And that's why I thought, well, let's do some creation therapy. So my commitment this week was, I'll give up 1 hour of screen time. Of not just fake screen time, it's like 1 hour when I know that I'm going to be looking at a screen for an hour or 30 minutes or whatever, and do something completely tree huggerish, or do something. Is that a word?
Tree huggerish.
Tree huggerish.
It's a word now.
Matt's turning into a
That's not
hippie.
even a
It's
word.
okay.
Matt, you're gonna make your
I'm
own
going to grow my
dictionary.
beard out, and I'm going to wear flannel. I'm just going to sit outside for the rest of the fall.
Like those weird guys who put the flowers in their beard.
No, I'm not going that far.
Oh, if
So
you go, you gotta go all the
Y'all are
way.
almost like pointing at me. These are beard. These are flower beards. I'm like, no, I don't do that.
You see James with the flower beard.
Say, I got little sisters. You put some here and here and shove it up my hat, but you never actually put up a beard.
If you want a good April Fool's Day joke, I know what to do now.
I will hurt you.
Here's
I'm
my
making it long.
here's my question. I brought this up to the 6:30 group, and I brought it up to the afters group, and both groups were like, "We don't really want to talk about this." Why?
Because it's so easy to
And
pull your
it's-
phone out of your pocket and see what's going on with Facebook or see what
You just did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
It's just so easy. 'Cause It's
it's-
right there. It takes 2 seconds. If you get bored or if you're in an awkward situation, the first thing you always reach for is your phone, or you turn your laptop or TV or something.
it's become so easy that it's become a part of our lives. And sometimes it's just unconscious and we do it. But
I was sitting in my this is embarrassing. I'm sitting in the recliner chair just the other night. I'm watching a 60-inch screen. In my lap is my 13-inch screen, and I also had my phone with me too. And I'm using all of them. Am I the only one that does that?
Seamus does it.
I watch
Absolutely.
TV
I
and
do
play
it
guitar.
sometimes.
I am guilty of that, but I can
He'll watch
multitask and
TV,
do both.
He'll be streaming something on Netflix, and then he'll be watching something else on his phone at the same time.
No,
I can't do- how
that
do
is
you
not
do
true
that?
because I do not
Something else.
use Netflix that
Playing a
much
game on his
anymore.
phone, whatever, doing both at the same time. It's like, really, you can't just stop and do one. So my question, though, to your, Matt, to follow to your question is, like, it's almost like we're afraid to be alone. It's almost like we're afraid to just be.
Even though technically we're not really alone.
So, so it used to be like people who always had to talk were afraid to be alone with themselves, be alone with their own thoughts. They always had to be around somebody, right? For that interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the same thing now? Do you guys ever
It's
feel
just
like
me.
you're just, like society, like people have just, they're afraid they might miss out on something. They can't just sit and be with themselves with their own thoughts.
Say,
And they might be
Interesting.
phones or music, they give you an out. Like, let's say you're walking around or in the hallway at school or something, and you're starting to deal with the world, you can zone out everything around you, and your whole world is right here. This is what people rely on. And I'm guilty of it. You know, I'll walk down the
Yeah, we all
hall,
are.
I'll pull my phone out, and I'll just walk down the hall, or down the street, or it's the gas station. Thankfully, I'm not done with doing my phone. I haven't done that yet. So, it's just,
So this has happened to me twice now. And is this a thing? I'll go into the men's restroom, and there will be a guy at the urinal doing his business, holding his phone and browsing through
Gosh.
Facebook. That's the most disgusting thing.
I feel like I should
Come
not
on,
have known that
man.
now.
And I'm like,
Should I just step out of the room?
have we
No,
crossed
you're
some
good.
kind of a line with
Yeah.
humanity?
Yes.
No, I've seen that.
Decency, human decency. Yeah.
No, I've seen that a
See,
lot. I see that.
like I
Like,
said,
very
it's just
strange.
so easy. Like, if you're bored, or if
Honey,
you're
there are
just,
girls in the stalls that are doing the same thing with their
Oh,
There are guys in stalls that do the
I
same
don't do
thing.
that. I promise you I
like I
don't.
said, it's just so easy. If you're doing something menial as your business or writing a paper, it's easy to just plug in your phone, listen to music, watch YouTube, something, stream something. It's just easy. And at some point, it can be a very awkward situation to walk into.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, it's like
That's a little far. I haven't done that one either.
Okay, good.
It's almost like we're looking for a distraction.
That's what it is.
Yep.
Like I said, if,
It's so easy to get distracted with it on purpose or whether or not. And some people just don't want to be left alone with their thoughts.
I think
Yeah.
part of the problem nowadays is that we involuntarily push our thoughts away because we don't like exactly who we think we are, and our self-confidence sort of as a nation, at least in the U.S. or in the Midwest, because, well, I haven't traveled that much out of state, but we just we don't exactly like who we are, and we focus on our mistakes a lot of the time, and so we're using this technology, these laptops, these phones, these TVs sort of as a distraction, so we don't have to think about it at all.
say, phones or TVs, they can put up a wall against your stress. So you're stressed out about whether it's work, friends, girlfriend, boyfriend, anything. It just helps. It takes your mind off things you don't want to think about. You know, staying out of your thoughts, stay away from your stress.
And really, that was like whenever they first started creating film and TV, that was the original purpose, to get away. Like during the Great Depression, that was the escape from reality.
Yep.
So that's I think that's definitely a very big reason why, because that was the reason it was invented.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep.
You know,
History class and freshman
yay history class.
year. Hey.
Well, you know, in the whole story of creation,
Found my crown.
what in the world?
James Crown.
Just so we know, James is like the chicken nugget king.
I
so
am the nugget.
We were talking about getting him a crown earlier, and it looks like he finally found it. So congratulations, James.
No, none of this translates well on the podcast, but
hey,
James
just
is
so you
putting on a
know.
party hat.
All right, back to the podcast.
All right.
just so you know, you're-
So
you're
let's bring this back home, guys. We talked about creation and the story of creation, and the thing that I think we miss out, and maybe why this talk was important tonight, is that we are a part of that creation, and we risk losing that connection because we're drawing away from it. We shouldn't be afraid to be alone with God. He created us.
Because everybody's so worried about being alone, but I think the most amazing thing about that is just knowing that you're not alone, because he's there everywhere. So
Excellent point. Excellent point. So, go out this week. Get rid of, after you listen to this podcast on your iPhone,
Where your galaxy
iPhone?
represents.
Unplug it and
Or you could just come to Refuge and hear the real deal in person.
That's always a better time. There's a lot of bloopers and stuff that you won't hear at all.
no, I'm putting all the bloopers in.
Absolutely.
Don't even edit this at all. This
Yeah.
No,
this-
just
This
leave
is
it.
a
Untouched.
piece of art right here.
Yeah, creativity.
You should be talking to me about that. I'll be editing
So,
this.
if you weren't here tonight, hopefully you're listening to the podcast, and we went through Genesis 1. You can read that also. Really easy to find in the Bible. Next week, I think we're going to talk about Adam and Eve and the real reason why they got kicked out of the garden. So we're going to call that. We need a catchy title for that, James.
What?
The,
Yeah, I saw that.
the kick out or something. I need a title for that talk. I need a 2-word title for that talk. What do you got, Seamus?
Exile.
Oh,
Exile. That's it right there. There we go. The exile.
That probably hurt because I had my ring on
You
my
had a
hand.
ring on that, yeah. Don't bump fists with Miriam.
Just do the other hand.
This ring is round. That was
So
sharp.
next week's talk is going to be about the exile from the garden, and not just the exile, but what was the root cause. And if you can come up with an answer before youth group, let me know.
Okay,
And
answer right now.
we'll be giving away free cars next week for the people that listen to the podcast all the way through and have an answer for this.
Cards or cars?
Cars. Matt said he's giving away a free car next week.
I heard
Alright,
cars.
I got this.
Free for I said free cards.
No, I heard cars, but he's probably rolling tomorrow with like a big old box of Hot Wheels.
The Matchbox cars.
That, or he's gonna go home, break into his old Lego and start building cars.
Hey, if you made it to the end of the podcast, please comment, or
Something.
I have no idea where you're going to listen to this at.
Like, subscribe.
I'm just
I
going
don't
to walk
know.
around the high school with the phone playing the podcast. I'm not sure where we're
Yeah,
going to publish
comment.
this.
I'm really
Matt.
curious. It's like Matt usually does his live stream. What do y'all think about this? You know, a whole bunch of five of us here.
Do you like this?
Or do you like Matt's live
I
talk?
like this better.
I like
This
this
is
a lot.
awesome. This is
Yeah.
great.
This is
This
much
is
better.
Right.
a new
We
thing.
need to be playing these for them,
That's great.
She's pointing at
like the next
an
day.
empty room. I'm not sure.
She means like in
The
middle
6:30
school.
6:30 group.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Or 6:30 now. Sorry. Still.
yeah. Well, we're all
Yeah,
part of the
it's
6:30 group, so.
Well, I mean, like the other people in 6:30.
The ones that are not part of the afters.
Yeah.
Hey, you can be a part of the afters. That's not a weird
Yeah.
cult or anything.
Not
No,
yet.
we don't even
That
have
makes it sound suspicious.
It's weird, but it's not a
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a cult.
We don't
Kinda-
even have our own handshake
We're actually
yet.
on a slippery slope going that way, so so we
okay.
could use some.
We could
You
use
guys
some
are
help
already
staying
wearing
on
pointy
ground
hats
and
for the
on-
afters, and you're saying
Yeah.
it's not a cult.
We're taking off our pointy hats right now. We're hiding. Okay, yeah, this has gone way too far. All right, we've got the stare from Siri. I think it's time to wrap this thing up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I guess, really, so.
See, this is the bad thing. This started out kind of rough. Then it was going perfect. Now we're getting a little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's time to quit.
Hey,
Yeah, we're
good
all-
night from Refuge
Hey,
in
we love you.
Mexico, Missouri. And
All right, bye, y'all. We're out.
Bye bye.